Hello, hello, hello. A very, very happy Sunday. And welcome back to the Happiness Tribe 2025. How awesome. I'll say a good afternoon to our guests, to all our listeners. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. And of course, today we are morning. We have no TikTok.
Mhm.
And I'm going to start with this is Miss Kim joining you live from Botswana. It's very nice. The weather has been so good, but it also has been a reminder that climate action is it's a real threat because when it pours, it hit us so bad. We had floods, kids could not go to school, and some people could not go to work. But then again, we have fresh air, and we still have so much to be grateful for. So I can see we have our very, very awesome Dr. Gladys. We have our very own Selassie, and we have our official DJ, Margaret. And we have a very beautiful topic where we'll be talking about cyber threats and how we deal with that, which I think by now we've all been affected one way or the other. So I'm just going to first give the mic to Dr. Gladys, who will do her intro, then Selassie, then Margaret. I can see Ola is joining us, but I feel like
Okay.
the link is not very well aligned. I can't bring her on board. I'll speak to
Okay.
her in the meeting. Over to you,
Okay.
Dr. Gladys.
Hi everyone. Good day because it is morning where I am. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Dr. Gladys Spalding. I'm actually a scientist as well as I teach at a college and academician. So I teach an array of college students, those who are trying to fulfill their science area, as well as those who are pursuing careers in healthcare. But I'm looking forward to this conversation because everything is about technology today. So we have to learn how to protect ourselves. We hear a lot about people being scammed, and I'm just as concerned. So cybersecurity is a huge thing, and I think it's going to be huge for a while because of the fact that everything is so tech based. So I'm looking forward to this great conversation. Back to you, Miss Kim.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Gladys. I'm sure you have a lot to share with us from your training perspective, from your personal travels, because I think that's when we experience a lot of that. And just as you do life, as you do your business, we've all been affected in one way or the other by threats of cybersecurity. So, Mr. Selassie, could you please do your intro? And it would be nice to see your handsome face.
Okay, I'm Selassie, a proud member of the Happiness Tribe, and I'm accountant by profession and also a youth advocate. I currently work with the National Disaster Management Organization over here, and also help with mitigating disasters within the various municipalities and communities in Ghana. I'm looking forward to this topic because technology is becoming an interesting space, and now the world is really moving to the fourth industrial revolution, which means we are going to deal with more with technology, robots, and AI. So I look forward to learn more about and also share my experience about cybersecurity because of issues like identity thefts and also cyber crimes, which is really affecting the financial system over here in Ghana, particularly with the banking sector.
Yes, I can imagine in the banking sector. I actually think, well, I'll leave that for Ola to confirm, but I think that is the worst and the most affected industry by cybercrime. Then we have our super awesome DJ. She might come in dancing. She's very musical. She just spices life and makes us happy when we see her. You know that sister you have, that cousin, that girlfriend that makes you
Mhm.
happy. That's Margaret for you. Welcome, Margaret. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Miss Kim. And hello, Selassie and Dr. Gladys. Thank you so much. I hope you're ready to jam. My name is Margaret Martinez. I'm a proud mom and a founder of Unforgettable You LLC, and just motivational speaker and bringing the jam. I like to do that. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready with your intro song, Miss Kim. Thank you.
We are happy. We are happy. You're going to lift our spirit if we start with an intro song. Don't you think so, Dr. Gladys? You have your dancing shoes on?
I'm ready. Yeah, I have to learn
Awesome.
from you. I saw you dancing. That was adorable.
It just feels so nice sometimes just to feel like a little girl.
That's
I just
wonderful.
feel like, whatever, I'm going to do me.
That's right. That's right. Let's go.
Yes, Margaret, we're ready. Our dancing shoes are on.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy if you feel like because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Yeah. Well, give me all you got, don't hold it back. Yeah. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. Yeah. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy, I'm alone. Feeling like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy, clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. The love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
All right. That was Pharrell with Happy. Thank you so
That
much.
is awesome. it sets the tone, you know? It sets the tone. I think it's just the vibe we want for 2025. I don't know if you're all feeling alive. Well, I know I have a lot of personal reasons to feel like so energized, to feel like, can I let the cat out of the bag? So this is the year that I turn half a century. I'm turning 50. And it's such a big thing to me. So it's sort of, it has come with like, there's a lot, obviously there's excitement, there's fear, there's a bit of have I ticked this and that box? But I feel like there's more to wanting to embrace life, wanting to be more alive, wanting to reclaim more happiness. I don't know how you girls and gentlemen feel. And maybe that's where Dr. Gladys got me dancing in a mall. Does that explain it, Margaret? I don't know how what to
Yes,
explain my.
I'm so happy you're going to turn 50. Woo! What a milestone. Let's go. I'm so happy about it because, like, here you go. Here is the renewed you. Come on. What does the word say? I will renew you like the eagles, right? And that's
Oh, wow.
how it is, right? Because the eagle soars as high as it can go, comes
Yes.
down, plummets and everything, and plucks out all of his, feathers, and let's go of the past. Let's go of all of that, those 49 years, let's go of all of that, right? And then new again, youthful, spirited. So I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. And that's what it is, right? Age ain't nothing but a number. For real, it really isn't. And once you have that, limitation outside of your mind, you're just gonna go, girl. Let's go. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So it's just brings a lot of sort of goofiness and just feeling easy and just celebrating life. I see our big boss, the police officer, is in the house. I think now, are you able? You can hear us. Should we do a drum roll for the police officer, Madam Ola Bimpe? You can get your mic off and talk to us. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. For whatever reason, initially my browser would not allow me to use my mic and camera initially, but now I can use my mic to be allowed to
No, we
use
get it.
camera.
We get it.
Hopefully, I will
Lagos
get
is
it.
so far away. Are you in Lagos?
Yes, Nigeria is so far away. Good to have you, ladies and gents, in the house. Thanks for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here. Happy people. I love happy people. So to be with the happy tribe is such a beautiful pleasure for me this afternoon. It's 3:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Sorry if it's a bit windy. I'm in transit, but I should be in my destination very soon.
Okay. Yes, it's a bit
So
windy.
how are you
There's a
doing
bit of.
today, Miss? Okay, you were getting like windy. Yeah.
Yes.
How is it now?
Okay. No, it's actually much better right now. We can give you a few minutes. We can get our other guest going as we wait for you to get to your destination.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in like
Yes.
10 minutes, I should be done. Yeah.
Good. As
Thank
I
you.
say,
Mhm.
thank you, Madam Ola. Let me say a big hello. I can see Leslie Flowers. We've missed you, Leslie Flowers. She's been so gracious and awesome and has been promoting the Happiness Tribe. Please, Madam Leslie, and I know you have your own rooms. Please let us know. You can actually drop on the comment section on your next audio room. We're happy to come and support you. You share a lot of awesome information. So Leslie is in North Carolina and she's looking forward to the conversation. Then we have our very own Oli. How are you, Oli? It's been so long. We haven't seen you. So blessed to see you as well. Yes, please come join us on stage. Join us. Yes, we're going to have fun. We have our official DJ, as you know it, and it's our first show for the year. That's why, as much as we're going to talk about cybersecurity, and sometimes it doesn't leave you with the smile you want to have. It's a bit of, because we've been hit and it doesn't feel nice at all. But we try to be grateful all the time and to have that smile. This is the year that we embrace happiness, we count our blessings every day, and we're picking at all those little things that put a smile on our face. And that starts with seeing our community that is always out to support us. Now, let me get into the topic. This is quite a concern. And I think with the advent of AI, it has made the situation get out of hand. I think we've all experienced some attacks here and there. It could be sometimes you see some weird activity on your bank account. Sometimes it's your emails. Right now, I think the biggest scam they're doing is you get a strange phone call and you pick it up, and they will actually just ask a question that you're likely to just say yes to. And before you know it, they're very, very smart. I mean, I think cyber criminals are super smart people. So they lead you into telling them it could just be your ID. They'll say, I'm calling from this bank and I need some information. I'm doing this and that. And they do their research. So it sounds so authentic. So I'd like us to start with sharing our experiences. We had a near miss, which was very, very, it was very strange to me. I haven't heard of that one, where we are in a mall in Johannesburg, festive season, and my daughter gets on the ATM. I mean, she's a big girl. And as soon as she gets, so she withdraws the money, and then soon after, somebody gets on the ATM. So, you draw the money, you get your card, and you get your receipt, and you move on. So straight up, somebody who was on the queue was very quick to get on it. Then my friend who lives in South Africa and knows these things, how they happen. Oh, my dogs are saying hello. I hope they're going to give us a moment. So my friend jumps in and goes like, come on, Ginger, just give me a minute. Ginger, please. So my friend comes on the ATM and says, and tells this person, the new person who is coming to use the ATM, like, sorry, we forgot something, just give me a minute. So she reconfigured the ATM, some resetting, where you have to do something, not withdraw money, but I can't even remember what she did, but it's a particular reset. You start like you're asking for your statement, something, some configuration to make the next person will not figure out. That really got me scared. And I couldn't use ATMs again because I couldn't even, and she was telling us her experiences, how she's lost money before. So it's sort of, we are at that time in our lives where we have to keep planning. Dr. Gladys, over to you. Please tell us about your experience with cybersecurity.
Well, first I want to say that I'm sure at some point everybody's going to have some type of experience, with this type of threat. I know, like, in my place of employment, let me just say that we required that we take a cybersecurity, basically, a test just to ensure that we're kept up to date with threats. And I really like that because I can apply it personally. So I think that's something that's extremely important. I had a situation where I had purchased something from Home Depot. I'm not sure whether it was them that was hacked. I'm not exactly sure where this threat came from. However, and I had someone call in reference to an order. They didn't say specifically what it was, but somebody was trying to call my phone. Let me just say, if I don't know who you are, I don't answer my phone. I'm just afraid. I'm just being very guarded. And I usually will tell someone if you want to contact me and I'm not familiar with you, I will tell them that you have to send me, a text and identify who you are. I just don't answer those calls because I just don't want to get caught up in that. And even if I receive a text, let's say someone, a bank, somebody claiming that it's a bank or something, I will call the bank directly before I respond to, any type of text. I'm just not comfortable. But, I had a situation where these, I had placed an order with Home Depot, and the people never identified, that they were Home Depot, because what happened was they called my husband's phone. And so he told me I needed to call them back. So when I called back, I actually got someone who answered the call, and then they directed me to another call. So that right there was a red flag, because why is it that the person that you're calling is not responding to the issue? That's the first thing. So then when I reached out to the other people, and that's only because, my husband was telling me I needed to do, and I was expecting this order. The people, they couldn't tell me what the order was. And then what they did was they gave me personal information about me. And what I did was I told them that was not accurate, even though it was. I told them it wasn't. And they told me, they said, we think you're lying because this is you and you just don't want to say it. But I'm just saying, I refuse to admit it, because that would have given them carte blanche with my information, So that's what really alerted me. And it was very alarming, because I knew that these people had my information. So that's why now, I try my best. Let me tell you, there's no foolproof way, but you do the best you can, like, updating your computer, whenever there's an update that's required, because then they're, correcting some type of glitch, or, being cautious about what type of questions you answer. If it doesn't feel right, more than likely it's not. And to me, it's worth checking. So, I received a text, this is funny, from a bank in reference to a transaction I was making just last week. And I said, okay, I'm not sure. It actually was the bank, but at least I checked to make sure. I felt more comfortable. I'm just not going to, people work hard for their money. And, I'm just not going to put myself out there. I know that there's no guarantees, but if I can do what I can do on my part, then, I feel a little bit better. So when it comes to people just, and especially around the holidays, let me just say, people know scammers. They know that people are, out there purchasing for the holiday and stuff like that. Let me tell you, my phone was ringing like crazy, and I didn't answer any of those calls. And what I think is quite interesting is that now I'm not receiving those calls. So that was an indication that those were scammers. And what it is that they knew around that time, people are out there, they're distracted, and that they're spending money. And that's what they were trying to do. So I'm doing the best I can. And, in securing my identity, in securing, my finances and everything. So, but, you just really have to, if it doesn't sound right, if it doesn't look right, then, it's not, to me, it didn't take, it took a minute to call the bank to ensure that was them. And like I said, in that case, it was, but there's been times when it probably wasn't, but I don't respond to those type of questions or even have those type of dialogues. That's why I don't answer my phone. If I don't know who you are, I'm not answering my phone. That's just the way it is. Okay.
I like that. And Leslie Flower says you're very smart. And yes, indeed you are. I think we need to create a lot of awareness in this sector. Okay. Margaret, please share. Tell us your encounter.
I'm going to second Dr. Gladys. I do the same thing too. Like if the phone number and stuff, if I don't recognize you, I'm not going to answer you, I should know you and you should know me kind of thing, So that's kind of like a protection thing. And cybersecurity is very important as well. You have to keep, yourself, and especially if you have children too, definitely keep them protected. I like Australia's rule, their ban on 16 years old, no social media. I carry that in my own home, even before any of that, because there's goodness, there's always, badness too. So you always have to know that everyone has a certain agenda. And even though it sounds nice and looks nice, it's not going to be. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be. And you just have to know your worth. You have to know your value first and foremost. Hey, if this is not for me, then it's against me. And if it's negative, then I won't have a part of it. So yeah, that's just me though. So very vigilant,
Yes. And I think that thing of working on intuition, like being constantly alert, which it's a bit different for us because I would say I live in a relatively very safe environment. I don't like, I'm not, sometimes when you're accustomed to that. We don't have a lot of crime in Botswana. Actually, the crime we have is pretty new. Like you could never hear of bank robbers, there was a haste at an ATM. I think it has only happened twice or thrice. And we were all like, what? Because I mean, it's a very small population. I live in a city, the capital city with 200,000 people. We're sort of one big family. And also maybe the economic realities does not make us become that alert, which sometimes it looked at like maybe we're not as developed for us to be so quick to crime. So for me, this becomes like it's so new, like where somebody is constantly alerting you. I saw myself in a shop, a boutique, and then it was actually at spa. So we're done doing our nails, and then the till guy just gives me the machine for swiping, and I don't need to put my password. That was new to me. I'm like, how does this work? And I'm so into fintech, but I haven't seen that. So then it felt like this is where I've seen people getting scammed. Like somebody can just have that little ATM machine in their pocket and get in the queue. It could be anywhere, and they can get money from your ATM. Because if you don't need my password, you can get money from my card. I think Selassie, please mute. So yeah, I think this is some lessons to be learned. Mr. Oli, please share with us.
Oh, sorry, I was just preparing my coffee, so you kept me by surprise. So I'm going to because I was listening, I was also my coffee is ready, so feel free to serve yourself. And this is something that I learned 1 or 2 years ago, to always have your cards in this kind of protection, because in case your card is on the pocket without protection, they can scan it. So that's really important to have this kind of protections, so that you are but the most difficult part is not from the tech perspective. Of course, we can have a good decision about what tool do you use and which are the companies behind these tools. Where those days located? For instance, do we know that TikTok, of course, was banned, but TikTok is from ByteDance. ByteDance also owns CapCut. And it's about where does my data go? And like another example, OpenAI, and then I'm going to switch gears, but OpenAI, there are many like ChatGPT, it's like, it is the Google now. It's like the Google of the last century. But at the same time, for me, I don't use ChatGPT, not only about data privacy, but also about ethos. Because near 2 years ago, I was learning the news that they hired Kenyans to not only work for $2 per hour, but also to retrieve their toxic data from the data sets. And so causing them harm, because they have to say, okay, is this sensible? Is this harming? And for me, a company that is not having the value about ethos, about humanity, is not worth investment, neither of my money, neither of my time, neither of my attention. So that I chose Claude Anthropic. And last but not least, my share will be about human and critical thinking. Trust your gut. We have not only to learn from here, we have also to learn from our heart and to learn from our whole body. What is the response of our body when we are experiencing something? And that's my share. Critical thinking, and also to surround ourselves with people that are enough skilled in their field, like technology, cybersecurity, whatever, to give us advices. Because when we are together learning, when we select our source, selecting our source information was a friend of a friend that told that he went to a shop and they advised Gmail, and that was really secure. And then that was the red flag, because Gmail it's like saying that Google Translate is the best translator tool. No. So it's about choosing the tools. And also, last but not least, Malwarebytes versus Kaspersky antivirus. Kaspersky is from Russia. If they are able to control a company, they are able to put their own agenda of what to secure, what to not secure. So that's a big concern for me also. So I yield the mic with that, and I'm happy to share in the future if you choose so. Thank you.
You are super rich. I was actually, I was trying to record so that I can share in the comment section. You dropping nuggets. You have information that I'm being like, I don't know that. And I so much appreciate, Oli, that you're very sensitive with your ethics. And yes, collectively, if something is affecting humanity, we need to bring it to the public domain. People need to be aware. And sometimes when people are aware, they'll make the right choices. And of course, I think today is a big day with the whole ban of TikTok. I was actually trying to understand how horrible was this, because obviously I'm looking at, yes, I may not be on TikTok, but I'm a business person, and we are on TikTok as a business, actually. In Africa, we're not affected. But then we won. We won. So for me, I was mindful of what are these people going to do with lost businesses? But before I think about that, can I just first then get the understanding on how was this affecting humanity? And that's where you find having these conversations, we could be able to make better choices on some of these tools. Are you sharing that coffee? It's steaming hot.
Yeah, this is for you. If you want, feel free. Bring BYOC. Bring your own cup, and then I will pour some coffee for you.
Thank you, Oli. Now I see our chief boss is in the house. So can we just do our drum roll? The boss has spent a lot of time researching, educating, creating awareness. She has courses. She is making a huge impact within our lives. So you can imagine when some of us are so clueless, when we have as an expert in a subject matter, that makes a huge difference. Please join me as we welcome our police boss, the cybersecurity Africa biggest cybersecurity police boss, Madam Olabimpe. And I'm so scared of mispronouncing her name because I'm going to get a beating, but I think I've tried. Madam Ola, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Miss King, for having me. I was blown up. I'm like, oh, those for me. Well, thank you very much.
You're an enigma. You call shots.
I'm a very small, tiny thing on earth. I'm just blessed by the Lord to be doing what I'm passionate about. I count it a privilege to be a cybersecurity expert and in this industry to be advocating for cyber awareness. I'm a SOC analyst by profession, but I've chosen to educate people. So I'm a very strong advocate of cybersecurity. And I think I sleep cybersecurity, I dream it, I wake up with it, I do everything about it. And that is also what my book, Encrypted Heart, is based on cybersecurity. Because like you all have said, cybersecurity is what everybody needs. We need it, and yes, we need it. Nobody is excluded because it's getting crazier and crazier at the moment. Nobody is immune to it. Nobody is left out. Unfortunately, these cyber criminals, they have pity for no one, neither young nor old. And unfortunately, we've lost lives to cybercrime. and that makes it more pathetic. You can imagine losing young ones, losing kids, losing our older generations that should still be here with us, helping us babysit kids at home at best, or telling us stories about past generations. But these cyber criminals take advantage of them, and because they lose their life savings to these cyber criminals, it's difficult for them to cope, and before you know it, they just pass. So, and with that, we don't take it for granted at all in the industry. It's true they've not shot them with gun, so but they've used cyber gun on these lovely individuals of ours, and that is why I tell people until I draw my last breath, I will continue to advocate about cybersecurity. And so far, I've been enjoying the conversation. I love what everybody is doing because that makes me happy when people take precautions. I've heard some, I think it was Holly that said earlier on that she wouldn't pick calls that she's not familiar with. And that makes a lot of sense. If that person really needs you, it will get across to you by other means. The worst is my mom changed her number. So if she changed her number and I don't have the new number, then she should have another way of letting me know she has a new number if that is truly my mom. So there is something we encourage in the industry that is very helpful. And that is what, consciously or unconsciously, what you guys are doing. We call it zero trust. Zero trust happens when you trust nobody online, no platform, no individual, no anybody, nothing, absolutely. You assume you are the only sane person, you are the only saint and sane person online. And when you're able to do that, you'll be able to, to avoid some of these problems you have online.
Wow, that's a bit scary, I have to say.
I know, right?
Yeah, when you talk about zero trust, where does that leave us as a society? And I know some of us being extremely gullible, sometimes it's lack of exposure to what is happening in the world around us, especially for some who live in, excuse my French, but I call my city a village. We seem to be so sheltered, but I know we're getting attacked, especially in the banks. Now, as I get our very own Leslie to share with us, I'd love to ask you, Ola, some questions that you can prep yourself, because you're an expert in this space and we really want to milk you dry nicely. We want to learn a lot. If you can share some of the tips that we all need to be vigilant about, and if you can also tell us about the pressing cybersecurity threats that our organizations and individuals are facing. How do we get to know what exactly is happening? Because it seems like every other day there's something that we already know about, something that you go like, really? How smart were they? How did that happen? Especially, I feel like fish out of water when I go to big cities. And it's I remember the last one I was in Addis, that is Addis Ababa. That's our Africa biggest and busiest airport in Ethiopia. And I just innocently pull my cord to charge my phone, as we always do. You get to an airport, the next thing you want to charge in the airport ports. And straight up, my 19-year-old daughter came and said, "Mom, you can't do that." Of course, she's scolding me like, "Don't you know? This is not safe." But you're looking at everybody else is doing it. And then me being an African mommy, my first response is, "What do you know, child? Really? Really now? We need to update. We need to know. We need to look at what the world is doing. We need to update the next destination where we're going. How can you tell me not to charge my gadgets?" And she got so serious about it until I went like, "Okay, I'm going to listen to you." Until I sat down and researched, and I went like, wow. So think about, I want to believe I'm not the most gullible person in the world. We have millions of people that don't know how risky that one is.
So,
Yes.
Ms. Kim, was that a question to me? I was having a hard time hearing. This is Leslie.
Oh, Miss Leslie. No, actually, those questions are for Oli. My question for you is,
Sorry.
yeah, Oli will think about them and come back and tell us. But my question for you, Leslie, is can you share your experience and what have you encountered and how are you being vigilant with cybersecurity threats? Thank you.
Okay, well, a couple things here. Yeah, because when you were asking that question, I thought I didn't really understand, so I misheard. I apologize. So, two things. After I say what great tips, and wouldn't it be great if we all knew this? I think everybody has experienced some kind of encroachment, right? Whether it's wherever it is, whether it's through banking or purchasing. I personally don't use my phone to buy anything. I use my laptop. I don't know. It's just something I made up. It just felt like that the phone was more accessible than my laptop because my laptop has a number of programs on it. One thing I did about 10 or 12 years ago that I've never regretted and always it has come back to support me every time. I got involved with prepaid legal, which had a different name back then. And basically, you're investing a small amount of money every month in a bank of attorneys, and they are good because over the last 15 years, and I pay like $25 a month, I've saved thousands. The way I use them is if something doesn't feel right or somebody says something about a law or this or that, no matter whether it's in real estate, banking, it doesn't matter. They have them very diverse and also provide services. But that has it's really been a support to me. While it doesn't exactly address fraud, it has been for me one of the best things that I've done for my business and my personal life. That amount of money actually covers the first couple of letters if you're in contention with someone. And, I think over the years we've all experienced that. So I wanted to share that, but now I want to step to a different place, sort of the macroscope of this, because I'm so glad that Ola Bimpi is here as an expert in fraud. And, we talked about not trusting anyone. Well, I have found myself to be the most vulnerable to fraud right here on LinkedIn because I lead with my heart, because probably I may not be the best judge of character in 2 dimensions, right, online, because there are private communications and there are things going on all the time to get money from people. Now, if you did your due diligence and you didn't lead with your heart, you could go to a place of not trusting anyone. And I love what Gladys said. I mean, it's so true. I never answer the phone if I don't know who it is. In fact, I tell people, if you're going to call me, you better call me right, or send me a text instead. So I would like to better understand how to navigate right here in our communities. There are so many misunderstandings. There are always 2 sides to every story. I've seen people get really hurt because only one side was made available to people. There's gossip. There's people with low levels of conscious awareness. And thank God that LinkedIn, of all the platforms, in my view, has the highest level of people that want to learn and grow and that aspire to be kind and want to be happy. That's their direction. But there are those among us that that use this. People in my own community, people I had no clue about. And so could you or would you step a bit into that? How do we not lead with our heart? How do we not believe someone when they said this is what they meant, when ultimately you found out that they had an agenda? So is it really, it's like on a macroscope, a microscope instead of macroscope. The macroscope is the whole world is doing this. The microscope is right here between you and me. And that is, I think, the closest to home. If we could somehow align with each other toward kindness, this would be the place to start because it would ripple out. But I haven't figured out a solution because in our country, as an example, we have two sides to the same coin, and everybody on one side really believes. They do believe in their view. And on the other side, they really do believe it. My view really isn't better. So how do we solve this overcoming reaction with responses? And so Olabimpi, I guess, and all of you, where do we go in our own communities? People, you guys, I'm with you every day. I'm closer to you. What do I do? How do I protect myself from those among us who have an agenda, who may not be people first, money second, who may actually need money, and their values and virtues allow them to do things that maybe under other circumstances they wouldn't do. So I'll leave it with the question of how do we become strong and powerful and still loving and kind on our platforms wherever we are so that we don't get taken right at our own front door. Thank you, Ms. Kim. Love you. And everybody has just been so brilliant in sharing. Thank you.
Love you, Leslie Flowers. And your voice is so calming. I didn't want you to stop talking. And since my dogs want to be part of the conversation, let me give the mic to Ola. Please, Ola, tell us, advise us, as Miss Leslie says, what we do.
Oh, yeah, is such a bad situation. It's a situation we good people living on this planet, this beautiful planet, the only planet that accommodates humans conveniently. We don't wish to find ourselves in this situation. But unfortunately, we are here. This is what we see. And you see, I always like going back. I'm a woman of faith. I was in transit because I just finished service earlier. So I love going back to the scripture. I love going back to the creator. I believe in the existence of a creator. And as a maker of man, I know he knows humans better than Miss Kim, can you confirm if you can see? Okay, yes, I can see head shaking, so I know you can hear me. Yes. Okay, so going back to the scriptures, because you wonder, why are we going from bad to worse? Things are getting better technology-wise, but we are getting more and more vulnerable. Instead of getting better as humans, we are getting worse. Why? And it goes back to what the maker of man says, that in the last days, wicked men and impostors would advance from bad to worse. And you see, guys, you cannot change the lost world. You cannot undo what God has said. It doesn't mean that the maker of man wants or wishes us bad, but because he knows man better than any other person, he knows that the farther we get from perfection, the more challenging it becomes for us to maintain our humanity. Hence, the wickedness we have in the world. And if it has been like that, He also says in the scripture that we have to be innocent as dove, but be cautious like serpents. Serpents are always very cautious.
Amen.
So there is need for caution. So as much as yes, we want to trust people, we want to be kind to people, we can never overemphasize the needs for caution. Because you know yourself, guys, you know yourselves, you know yourself as an individual, but you don't know the next person. We live in a world that unfortunately, even parents hurt their own kids. Kids hurt their own parents. So if an individual has that capacity, is bold enough to hurt his own blood, I mean, I think they will say blood is thicker than water, right? Of course, in terms of relationship, I believe in every human around me is equally important. But there is this connection you have with who you call your blood. Naturally, we have compassion for those that belong to us. If I could love my friends so much that I don't want to hurt them, so why will I hurt those that are my relatives? But unfortunately, it happens now. And that is why my okay, am I back now?
Yes.
Yes, Ola, you're back.
Were you going to address my question, Ola Bimpe?
So yes,
Please.
so what I'm saying in essence is we don't have to be sentimental. When it comes to your security, you can't be sentimental. You just have to do the needful. What the experts recommend is zero trust. I will tell you what happens to me last year. I'm an expert in this industry. To tell you that we are all vulnerable, I got scammed right there on LinkedIn. Thank God for my professionalism. It will have been a done deal. What happened was there was an audio event, some of us attended, and this guy came. He was a speaker on that audio event. And during the event, he offered a free training to whoever was interested. The moderator of that event, the convener, the host of that contacted us and invited some of us to that training. Along the line, he brought the issue of money, okay? But the money was not meant for the training. He recommended that for us to, to get more advantage from this event, there are some documentations we will need. There are some internationally recognized documents we will need. And because we built trust, none of us cared to research. And we went ahead individually and paid this guy. Only for us to discover that it was a scam. An absolute scam. So would we have prevented that? It's simple. It's not about you can't give your money to people. That's okay. The world is becoming a global village. It's not wrong to transact with people. It's not wrong to pay money to people. It's not wrong to accept services. I mean, till tomorrow, I give out my services to people and I get paid online. But the question here is, how
Oops, is it frozen in my side? So I don't hear anything, so hope that it's not frozen my side.
No, I can't hear anything. Hello, Miss Kim, are you there?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
feel free to share your thoughts while they are back.
Yeah, I think
You
he's
can
having
share your thoughts.
she's having an internet problem, connection
Yeah.
Okay.
problem. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
I was listening to Ola, and I totally agree with the 0% trust. I really believe that when it comes to people reaching out and asking, I have a problem for that. When it comes to that, because I feel like you should develop relationships,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's not guaranteed. But go ahead, Selassie.
yeah, I think that's it. I mean, sometimes I myself I do get messages, and I think it's not really appropriate. You don't know the person. But it seems the person know much about you and sending the message for the first time, and it's not really the best. Yeah, so I think we need to be very much aware of these things on LinkedIn and see how best we can, fall in the traps of, this kind of cyber criminals.
Yeah. For me, if I might share, first I was since many weeks I'm more and more committed to connect with God, and I have a Bible calendar. And right on point, I was choosing a date. It's from Thessalonians 5:21, and it says, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good." And so it's about who do we trust. And by instance, I can bring something that aired in France, in the French community. Was a woman in France scammed by someone who was saying that he is Brad Pitt, and he scammed this person. And this person was already alone, on a divorce status, and feeling not love for herself. And it was like huge media coverage about that. And there are people that says, "Well, but how come she was able to do that and to trust this person and to give 830,000 euros, like almost $1 million euros for this scam?" But at the same time, I truly believe it's about. I love this quote from Maya Angelou. She said the most famous quote, or that you will remember how you made them feel. But she also quote, "I am a human being. Nothing human is alien to me." So in each human being that ever lived on Earth until now and in the future, there are dark and light sides. We have all the components of humans that ever existed, like Hitler or Mother Teresa. It's about what do we do with our components? Do we look inside our darkness? Do we aim to clear the battlefield of the mind? And in our vessels, like the metaphor of a castle, who do we allow the bridge, and who do we allow to enter? Who is our ally and friend? Who is our enemy? And that's when history is really helpful about the Trojan, the Troy horse, the Trojan horse. Like, oh, we are friends, we can join, etc. But we have something hidden. And then the night comes, and then the people are invading the city and destroying all. So I think it's really important to not only rely on our intelligence and brain, but also to it's a balance between the mind, the body, and the heart, to know how to bring them all. Not only the mind, not only the heart, because if we react on emotional, we are clicking baits, and we are going to regret, because I should have really reflected and aligned. So it's like not only rely on emotions, on the limbic brain, reptilian brain, but also prefrontal cortex, to take time to really breath on that decision before to go too quickly. And also the source. Really, the source is important. If someone that I don't know, or I really just connected recently, said, "Oh, I have a nice opportunity for you, go there," and the red flags, the crypto or whatever. But even without the red flags, I will not really trust this person until I really take the time to know this person. But if a person, and I quote like Leslie or Margaret, tell me something, then of course I will rely on my critical thinking, but I will have already the first proof of concept of trust, because it's that's really important to really place your trust on the adequate persons, to not trust everyone, because in fact we have all buckets. It's also not good or bad. I think we have all the components of good or bad within us, but it's also about behaviors. And we have all buckets on our own bucket. And there are people out there that will try to get your attention to use, to wear their own buckets and to lose your own buckets. And so self-love, going inside to see, do I love myself more than anyone else on earth? And do I love God also? So it's my share. It's my humble share. And about technology, to critical thinking, to surround ourselves with great people, to know, to make your due diligence research before you use a tool. Like I was talking about ChatGPT. I don't blame ChatGPT. It's like Google, but I'm sorry, but ChatGPT as Google is not my friend, because they are doing things in the backside that are not aligned with humanity, with my value. And of course, it's like not throw all on the trash, but to really be aware, the conscious about our decisions. So that's it. Feel free to share, anyone. I yield the mic.
Yeah, I like what you were saying. I'm getting an echo. Are you getting an echo when I talk?
No, I don't have an echo from
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing something. But anyway, I really like that share, because I think people can be vulnerable at any time. And it depends on your state of mind, because I don't know this person personally, but someone was telling me how this person, they had undergone chemotherapy and they weren't feeling good about themselves. So someone connected with them on Facebook, and he tried to develop a relationship, and then they started asking for money. So my point in saying this, that person was vulnerable. She had lost her hair. She wasn't feeling good about the way she looked. So that made her very vulnerable to a situation like that. Ola, like that? I think we're losing quite a few people. Mhm. But go ahead, Miss Kim.
No, I'm just checking if Ola can hear you, and thank you for holding fort. Please carry on.
Well,
Ola, we
who
can't
wants
hear
to
you.
speak
Mute.
right now?
Yeah, we were talking about being vulnerable, and how anybody can be vulnerable at any time. And, it depends on your state of mind at that time. So he brought up a very valid point. Really good. Okay, go ahead.
I'm lost. The show is yours from now on, Dr. Gladys.
No, continue. I'm getting an echo. I think I'm in twice or something.
I don't have any echo in my side, and feel free to continue. We were running the show while you were a bit like technologically struggling. So we give back the mic to you, dear Kim.
You see now? Oli has already fired me, so I'm out.
No, I didn't say that. Please don't say what I didn't say.
I'm so happy to be fired. But just remember, we have Margaret waiting to get us back on our feet. Our dancing shoes are on. But please, Dr. Gladys, carry on, because I mean, I'm in Africa. Internet happened.
Yeah, no. I think what we were discussing here was about what Leslie asked. I think it was Leslie, in reference to, basically she was talking about emotions and how do you put that on the back burner or not leave it in the forefront. And that's what we were responding to, the vulnerability based on emotions. Yeah. So we would like to hear more from Ola in reference to cybersecurity and how we can protect ourselves. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for. It's good to be back. Thrown out, like Kim said, we are in Africa, and the weather is in now, and that is kind of affecting my internet. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? Awesome, awesome. Thank you. So, like I was saying, what the experts recommend is zero trust. So it does not mean we cannot help people. It doesn't mean we can't help people. It doesn't mean we can't buy and sell or transact online, but we just don't want to be gullible. The fact that I've been seeing somebody on LinkedIn for the past 10 years does not make that person very good. So I still need to do my due diligence. I need to make my research on him, most especially when finance or when money is involved.
I find that so scary because I think if some of you are like how I feel, we sort of get to be like one big family on LinkedIn. I would give you I would swipe, I would do what you asked me to do without thinking twice, Oli or Margaret or Dr. Gladys, Selassie, or I mean, we're family. So it's really scary if that's happening on LinkedIn. But I missed the story. I'd love to know how she was scammed. I think she's back on stage.
I think she did said how she was scammed. Something to do with international papers, if I'm not mistaken. And the person asked for money, and she was. Oh, go ahead. She's back. Go ahead, Ola. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what happened was that it was supposed to be a free training. And at some point, about a month into the training, I mean, very cool training, very nice training, excellent one. So about a month into the training, then he asked us if we want to, to leverage on some international platform. And for us to do that, we will need some documentation that put us on this international platform. And I mean, it was about public speaking, and that was what we did. But by the time this document came, then we were like, oh my goodness, what is this? One, Brian Tracy's certificate was fraud. I mean, was given us when Brian Tracy, there was no connection. This person has no connection with Brian Tracy. Then he claimed that there is one Abraham Lincoln Foundation, and we will getting a seal from Abraham Lincoln. After payment, we discovered, he gave us this documentation from that BS Abraham Lincoln, but unfortunately for him, but fortunately for us, there was discrepancy in the logo. The logo bears Abraham Lincoln, but unfortunately, there was a typographical error at the Abraham Lincoln. So we were like, oh my goodness, this is an internationally recognized document. How would there be a typographical error in this documentation? And that was when we started making our research. Long story short, well, you know me, I wouldn't keep quiet. I didn't take it easy with him. I did not. So because how would you be messing with our brain? How will you be messing with people's hard-earned money? And I told him, guy, you have to do something about this. If not, you will regret attempting this. You messed with the wrong person. So it went back and forth. I made some posts about it on my page, and it drew attention of those in my community. And eventually, he noticed that okay, he messed with the wrong person. So, and I told him, you just have to make a refund, except when an individual tells you, don't bother about it. And that happened. Can you see?
Yes, this can be very, very disturbing. Dr. Gladys, please help. My dogs have decided there's a party outside. And I see we have a guest, Crystal.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to say, based on what Ola was saying, I think it's good that, well, she would know. She's the cybersecurity queen, that you let people know. That's how we can make improvements. So I thought that was great that she put it out there and let people know what's going on, because that's what I pay attention to. Okay. So, but we have someone else here.
Yeah.
I can't see her name. Can you see her name, Miss Kim?
Oh, Miss Kim knows me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Crystal Bay from LinkedIn, but when I do
Introduce yourself.
StreamYard and
Introduce
stuff,
yourself. We want to know
Crystal
you too.
Phoenix. Yes, I do, dear. Hi guys. Ollie sent me the link. It's been a while, but I honestly don't really know what the topic for today was, but Ollie sent me the link and I saw it was Happiness Tribe, so I thought I would, jump in, say hi everybody. Happy New Year, since I haven't seen all of you. Always great to see you. Maggie, please tell me you're staying warm, honey, because I know we're in the negatives.
Yeah, I am. I'm hoping you're staying warm too. Yeah, it's really, really cold right now.
Yeah. I gotta send you the link for the new heated jacket that Matt got me. Seriously, hon, you and your daughter need it.
Thank you, love. Nice to
But
see you.
so it's so awesome to see you guys. It has been a minute. But I did see the one comment about somebody about being scammed on LinkedIn. Helena almost got scammed. Maggie, and my really good friend. And when she sent me everything that was like being promised to her, I was like, hold up, babe, this doesn't sound right. And I looked into the person and everything, and she was able to get away from it. But she thankfully like listened to the red flags, and listened to her friends that cared and at least let me look into it first, but came to the realization on her own, which I was very proud of her for. But a lot of times you can, and people will throw out our names as connections, saying, oh, I'm a friend of Ollie's, or I'm a friend of Miss Kim's, or Margaret's trying to get in with you, when in all actuality, no, we don't know you. So I've started vetting. Like if somebody throws out a name to me, I'll go to them. Be like, hey, do you know this person? So that we can stop these scammers from happening. So
100%, girl, for real. Like I think also, and the worst part about this is too, I'm just going to be honest, is the worst part is the person that's saying another person is scamming when it isn't even true. Because I have experienced that. I have experienced somebody on there that was saying that they were getting scammed and it wasn't even true. So you have to be really vigilant, because I'm going to be honest with you. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about mental health here. You have to be aware. There isn't a reason why people are either talking the way they talk, or the messages they're sending, or the attacks that they're doing, is because they have mental health issues. They're either lonely in their home, they're not aging well, they're not eating well. They have to, wherever their mental state is being lashed out upon others. And you have to, I can't stress this word enough. You have to be vigilant. You have to be vigilant, right? Because you have to protect yourself against people who are spreading things that are not even true, right? And attacking others. And they do. And Crystal's right. They will reach out to our connections, to our family, to try to get in that way, you know, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's the rumor mill and it spreads like wildfire, like in California. I'm not even gonna lie. That's how it is. And it's very dangerous. So people's mental state, you know, I've been told, you know, Gaza, I've been told things about everybody, every single buddy, you know, and if I were to listen to it, the first thing I ask myself is, why are you even saying what you're saying? You know what I mean? Like, what is your reason for doing what you're doing, you know? Because if you're truly out to help others, then your focus should be, how are you helping others? And are you even helping others? Because if you're downing other people, you're not really helping others. You know what I mean? If you're attacking and speaking negative and saying, oh, this and you have too much time on your hands, number one. You know, I don't know. In my business, I don't have a lot of time in my hands. Even, you know, I had a meeting at 7:00 this morning before this. So, you know, there's just not a lot of time, you know, and so much time, it's precious and we shouldn't waste it on negativity. I'm done with that. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to help others, you know, the mental well-being. Thank you so much.
Don't I love my voice? I forgot. Oli said I'm not moderating anymore. But I had to jump on that. Hugs, Margaret. That can be draining. It can be annoying. I bet in the streets of social media, we get bullied, maybe somehow, innocently. Oops, the English word is gone. Subconsciously, maybe we also bully others. Crystal, thank you so much for your share, and you're most welcome. We're happy to hear from you. It's been so long, yes, and we've missed you. And yes, just back to Margaret's sentiment, I think as well, that's how we get into guarding our space. We guard our space. We mean well. We are a collective, we're a community. We believe in the spirit of Ubuntu. We want to support everyone, and we are the happiness tribe. So there's a brand identity, and always before the brand, there's me. Who is Miss Kim? What do I stand for? How do I want to be seen? How do I interact with people? And that's where you find people sometimes, it's very, very important. Like the community we are, we should remain vigilant, just echoing everyone's words. And then at the same time, where we see some red flags, we do our due diligence before we start warning others. And when we see, because I mean, if it walks like a duck, smells like a duck, it's likely to be a duck. And I think,
Quack, quack. Quack.
You know, I think we've had sometimes a little bit of that. We've had a few like little warnings at the tribe. Then we'll do our due diligence and go like, I think this person is just idle. I don't think he's harmful. We don't understand what this person is talking about. And then we just take it easy. Of course, you're not going to wait until you get scammed. You just know how far you can interact with that person. And let's also agree, we're all walking wounded. We are walking wounded. People have their issues, and sometimes they don't have boundaries. And sometimes also we meet on social media and overshare. Then you get from oversharing, somebody got to know something personal about you. Without being so intentional, they will somehow use it against you. They will be super careful. You get it? It could be just something you share about. Sometimes back I had a mental breakdown, and somebody goes like, that one is still cuckoos. We don't trust it.
Yeah, a good friend of mine had the anniversary of her son's death, one of my YouTube friends, and I was doing a celebration of life for my sister on the same day. And she had said that she had tried to share her son's story on her channel and people used it against her and everything. And so I offered her a safe space on my channel during my sister's celebration of life to share her story, because that's not right. You know, how are you going to use something as personal as the story of her son's death and what happened. And it's a heartbreaking story against her, and not allow her to share on her own channel. Ollie, I think you remember Izzy Ska. She comes onto my YouTube channel sometimes in the chat and everything. It was her son story. And I opened up, my sister's day, for her to be able to share, because I felt that it was just that important and that nobody should use that against her. We are raw when we do these lives and we share, and we expect it to be safe spaces. That's why we loved our audio rooms. Why so many people were drawn to the Happiness Tribe, to Life Talks with Crystal Phoenix, with Maggie's different rooms, and Ollie's, because we offered those safe spaces. And for people to take what they hear there and use it against us is just wrong. We are here trying to help others by sharing our stories and give hope, whether it's, trauma related or just, mental health period, because not all mental health is based out of trauma. Bipolar disorder is an actual, chemical disorder in your mind and things like that. Not everything is based out of trauma and things, but we all should have that safe space to be able to share and not fear that someone's going to use it against us. Sorry, I got on a little bit of a soapbox on that, but that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. For those of you that don't know me, I work very actively in the domestic abuse arena, spreading awareness, giving survivors their power back by giving them their voice. So that is a very, very big issue in my world that I'm fighting against. So sorry I got on my soapbox about it, but it is something very important to me that people know that they're safe with us to share their stories and not fear retribution or victim shaming or any of it.
Yeah, I feel you, I hear you, because if we're here to support each other, and then because we're being toxic towards each other, then we're scared of sharing, what's the use? It's not helping. Oli, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much, Christelle, for sharing. And I think the major thing, especially for children and for adolescents, because we are building for them the future of the world, we have to learn to teach them not only information, but also critical thinking and emotional intelligence. For instance, for me, it makes sense, but for other people, they all have to learn that, is that whatever they are in the space, it's also to recognize ourselves when, okay, this energy is not mine, let me remove myself from the space and let people who want to express, and not react on that, because it's about letting the safe space. And it's also really challenging as a facilitator, as someone who is leading this space, because it's about if someone is reacting, or the dynamics of shares, and that might hurt other people. It might not hurt me, but it might hurt anyone in the space. And it's really to have our antennas to sense if what the people is sharing might hurt other people. That's why it's important also to listen to each voice and to say, if the person, and also to invite the people, if whatever we share is activating their nervous system in a way that it makes this space not a safe space, it's really important for them to express it, so that we are aware. Because if we are not aware, these people will quit or will be silent and receive things on their nervous system, and at the end will be bitter. So I think it really also to know how and with who we share information, and if it's activating something like, for instance, it's also to witness that, by instance, on Zoom, someone could have a dog and the dog goes to a screen, and then someone in the audience will be activated because in the childhood he had a dog biting her or whatever. And it's really I apologize for that, for my dog to be in. I will do my best to not do that anymore. But it's also to be able to include everyone on space. But also, I was also learning that in order to include people, behavior, topics, we have also to exclude things. Because if we are not signposting what we want this space to be and what we don't want to space to be, then unexpected things will happen. So it's really important also to bring the structure and intentionality of creating by upfront the safe space possible. If 100% safe is not possible, but to reach this so that every voice, every energy is able to contribute to whatever topic it is. Thank you. I yield the mic.
I do want to say something about what Oli was saying. I like the fact that he emphasizes critical thinking, because a lot of times we just hear about critical thinking when it comes to STEM, but critical thinking is applicable across the board. So I like that he keeps mentioning that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I love it. My goodness, these guys don't want me to talk today. Just gonna get on the mic. I think it's packaging the whole of soft skills. Like it's just necessary. How fast do you react to things? Is this kind? Is it necessary? Is it true? What tone? How am I? My emotional intelligence. Can I address this when I'm not up there? Can I first drink a glass of water and calm down? Then I address the issue. Ola, I have a question for you as we wait for Brian. Maybe Brian, you can come and tell us what you share on the topic for the day. Thank you for joining us. But Ola, I'd like you to tell us. It's not okay. Let me post my question because the dogs are having it with me today. I'll post it on the comment section. Brian, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much. For my first time joining you guys specifically on StreamYard. Please bear with me. I'm not looking at LinkedIn right now. I'm doing this through my phone with this. So you might have to remind me what the topic is today.
Cybersecurity, and her question is it kind? Is this necessary? Is this true? So the topic is about cybersecurity and protecting ourselves and others.
Okay. Well, my thoughts about cybersecurity, I don't know if it's kind, but I do think that security in general is necessary for all of us, because we want a sense of safety with the internet, with how we're interacting with people who we're interacting with, because we do have things that go on, and it's not always easy to just get in our vehicles and go somewhere and talk to somebody about it off our phone. So being able to have this at our disposal is, in my opinion, necessary. And then especially a day like this for today in my state of New Jersey, where we're going to be getting a few inches of snow later today, we might be stuck. So those are my immediate thoughts about cybersecurity. Is that it's necessary, but it's not necessarily kind. So that's what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. Actually, no, that one, I was just sharing a comment. What we're doing is we're all sharing our experiences. Have we been hit? What can we do to be more vigilant? How are we dealing with cybersecurity? Have you had an encounter? So if you want to share something, but I have a question for Ola if you don't have a personal story.
You can go to Ollie.
Okay. So thank you, Brian. Yes, indeed, it's super scary, and I don't think there's anything kind about cybersecurity. I think it's truly unkind that we have people that spend days, their lives trying to see how to affect others. It's really unkind. Of course, we all have stories to tell about why people get into crime, but like Ola emphasized, there shouldn't be any empathy when it comes to that. We need to be, that's when we wear our boxing gloves and go like, no, you could choose better. You can be wiser, you can be smarter, you can be kinder. I'm not going to excuse you that because you don't have food in your house, then you have to attack people. No. I mean, we've all gone to school. There are better ways of dealing with these issues. So my question for you, Ola, I'm here thinking, yes, we're looking at it. Of course, this is very serious to a lot of people in the US. The ban of TikTok, people have lost their livelihood. But I'm sitting here thinking, this is collective humanity. Are we just looking at they versus them? How safe are we? If US, this wasn't easy to went to court, it's been debated. And I'm sure, I mean, every government has economic realities to look at. Somebody was maybe very thoughtful and we have to ban this thing. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with data protection, security, and stuff like that. So are we just watching? Yes, US has banned. And of course, we're looking at Australia banning social media for kids. I think I had Sweden has joined. Some few countries are coming on board. Where are we? How critical is this? And what can we do? Thank you. In case you're talking, you're still on mic.
Sorry. Yes. Can you hear me now, please? Please confirm if you can hear me now. Okay. All right. Sorry you have to deal with my internet today. I'm on another ISP entirely, but I hope I sail through this today. Yeah, I will go to the issue of TikTok, but before then, if you would permit me, let me just talk a little bit on people coming online claiming they get scammed and they are not scammed in reality, and our attitude towards this. Yes, it's possible. Yes, people, unfortunately, due to one reason or another or the other, people lose their mind and they come online to say some things. And I mean, we sympathize with these ones. It's not intentional. It's not them. We know it's not them. It's about their state of mind. But when it comes to, and that is what I would like to state here as a professional, when it comes to cybercrime, don't let us use sentiments. Don't underestimate what people claim. Don't feel, oh, because she's this or that, it's not true. We don't do that. In my industry, we take every case as being unique. And that is why I like what I think, is it Ollie that said it earlier, that you should have a cybersecurity expert in your life. And that is one of, because the topic, if I remember, the topic that was sent to me is about a mindful approach to cyber threats. So when we are talking about mindful approach to cyber threats, we know cyber threats are real, they are there. Are you talking about cyber crime? Are you talking about fraud, cyber fraud, whichever form of cyber crime, including bullying? We know they are real. So we don't shut anybody up. It does not matter our attachment with the accused. So what happens is we allow the individual that claim to have been scammed to contact authority. That's it. Don't say, oh, because it's always out of his mind, this time around it's the same thing. What if it's true? Unfortunately, I hate to say this online, but I will always say it, because until when we accept reality, we will continue to make the same mistake. We've lost many teenagers. You see this girl, acting funny. She does not want to do social media. And this is somebody that has been doing social media before. All of a sudden, she does not want to, and you'll be like, oh, it's nothing. Please, it is something. The moment we feel anything, don't take it lightly. Most of the time, and I repeat, most of the time, it is always true when an individual, most of the time, not always, rather, I'm sorry for that language. Most of the time, an individual that is accused of a cyber crime, they are always, they are most of the time cyber criminals. So, but it is not left for us that are not professionals to conclude whether this is true or not. Like, for instance, I told you, I'm an expert in this industry, but I got scammed. So if I come out online, I'm like, oh, I got scammed. Initially, people even thought, my first post about it, when others in my industry were talking, people were congratulating me, because the post has to do with a course I took and the certification that came with that course. So others did not read the context of the posts, while some in my industry quickly noticed, oh, there was a problem, because that was how it all started. People started calling me, why the discrepancy? I'm like, okay, we noticed it, but we don't want to believe that this person is who we thought he is. And they're like, no, we need to research it. And others in my industry started making their research. There is nothing like Abraham Lincoln Foundation in the realm of public speaking. There was no foundation like that, but we got a certification. We got a document that claimed that was said to have been from Abraham Lincoln Foundation in public speaking. So if we had swept it under the carpet, this guy will have gone ahead scamming people. And this is a public figure on LinkedIn. If I mention his name, you all will be shocked. But if you want to know, go to my post. Sorry, it may take you some time, but it's not too, I think those things happened. The post started coming up, was it late November and sometimes early December. But we did not talk. People did not know what has what has happened in the background. I did not just come online and said this person was a scam. It was research. This matter started in March of 2024, and it was not mentioned. Nothing was said about him until late last year, when it was, yes, verified that, yes, this was a case of crime. But we let it go because he corrected it. Now I've made the public notice. If you decide to go with him and you get scammed again, that is your business. But I will not say because he's a public figure, I will not keep quiet just to protect him. No, I won't do that. That will be against my professional etiquette. So please, if there is any complaint around you, it does not matter the mental state of the complainer. Please don't take it for mental issue, because it can be real. The first question is, why that person? Why is this person not making the same claim about others? Well, if it is about mental issue, then let's research it. Let professionals handle it, not we that are non-professional. So that would be my point on that. And when we are talking about how to stay protected, because when I come online, when I advocate for cybersecurity, I don't just cry over spilled milk. His was a spilled milk. Of course, we got a solution to it. But how can we prevent this? How can we do? What can we do so that what happened about 12, I think 12, how, so that this does not repeat itself? One, awareness. Awareness. We must love our society. We must be kind enough to let people know this thing is real. When that girl of yours or when that boy of yours says, I'm being bullied, it does not matter what language he uses. Please support him. Come to his age. Let people know that this bully is doing what is wrong. It does not matter who he is. It does not matter how popular or how readily or well acceptable in the society he is. We want to let people know that this is wrong. So we need awareness. We need the education. So if you have your own company or you do business, first of all, educate yourself about the cybercrime around you. We have variation in the cybercrime from place to place. You were talking earlier, you were talking, Ms. Kim, I think you were talking about the use of ATM machine. It's okay to come online and explain your experience so that people can know, oh, this happened around you. I mean, you were saying you live in a place that, you know, cybercrime is not popular, but it starts someday. It starts someday. And if people are not aware, perpetrators of evil will continue to perpetrate evil. So that's the first thing we do. Awareness and education. We educate people around us. Then we want to be mindful when it comes to the use of technology. Avoid this impulsive click, 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 click. I will say it again and again. Some people can click for the word. It does not matter the link they see. It does not matter the source, whether it is solicited or unsolicited. PM, they must click, because averagely, almost every, I mean, an average human is curious. We want to know what is behind this link. But please, don't be too curious to click on a link you've not solicited for. And we've talked about, earlier on, Kim talked about sharing personal information. Yes, cyber criminals there is something we call reconnaissance. They research about you. And that is why perfectly they can tell you, this is your name, this is who you talk with, this is what you... It's not because they are not gods. They don't know what you have inside. You are the one that feed them with these pieces of information. So it's good to post. Anytime you want to post something online, anytime you need to share, it's good to know. I mean, it's not wrong to share. It's not wrong to tell people what is happening in your life. Okay? But we need to be sure this thing I'm sharing, is it necessary? Is it necessary for public view? Because you might say, oh, I have restriction over my account, over who can see my account. But anything can happen. When you share your picture with me, I'm your connection on LinkedIn. Others may not be your connection, but I may be excited. This picture you have shared, I might decide to repost it to my connection. So what happens? Others get to know about it. So whatever we share, we want to be careful about it. Then we want to be proactive. That's another thing we need to do when it comes to protection of our protection online. We need to be proactive when it comes to how we protect our accounts. Use strong password. The name of your pet, the name of your spouse, the name of your partner, your date of birth, your what is it called now? Your date of birth, your IDs. These are not to be used as passwords. They should not be used as password. For your password to be strong, some elements are required. It must comprise of alphabets, numbers, special characters, uppercase, lowercase. So when you have the combination of these, then it makes it more difficult for cyber criminals to crack your password. Don't forget, if it is easy for you, it is easy for your hacker. Because what some of us said, oh, I don't want to forget, I will forget if it is too difficult. What makes it easy for you makes it also easy for any cyber criminal that is after you. So that will be a few tips I will share when it comes to having that mindful approach to cyber threats. Awareness and education, mindful use of technology, proactive protection. Now talking about the effects of ban on TikTok. Like I said, when it comes to protection, we shouldn't be sentimental. So if a government feels that a social media platform poses a threat to life and property of its citizens, yes, some of us will be affected, but that platform should go. So for those countries that have said, we don't want this platform or that platform again, it's true. It's going to affect the income of some people. But we are humans. Let's feel for those that are negatively affected. How many millions of dollars is worth a life? That's a question we can ask. How many millions of dollars is worth a life? So if US bans TikTok because they want to protect one person, in my professional opinion, it is more than worth it. They won't wake up overnight and say, we are doing it. No. There must have been some violation, and I wouldn't want to talk into details about that. For any social media platform to operate, there are rules guiding operation. In this industry, we have policies, we have industry standards that guides your operation. So you don't do just what you want. You must operate according to the ethic of wherever and whichever environment you are operating in. Like for instance, we have some laws that protect me when I handle health data of US citizens. There is a law we call HIPAA. So when I handle data of US citizens, I am under obligation to abide by whatever I have under that regulation. It does not matter where I am in the world. Every country has their own. If you are coming to operate here in Nigeria, where I am, Nigerian government has laws that are written, that are published. Before you start your operation, before they allow you to operate, you must have gone through these laws and you must have agreed to abide by it. So when you default, you should be ready to face the law. Unfortunately, when it happens, users of this platform get affected. But I pray for whoever is losing their income on TikTok, I pray God make up for them. But like I said, no amount of money is worth the sacrifice of a human life. I don't know if that satisfies you.
It's so profound. Even my dogs are confirming.
Thank you.
You know, as Leslie said, dogs can be like toddlers. They'll be quiet all day long until my podcast starts, and I'm just going like, but they're having they have the evening parties with the monkeys, so I think they must be fighting over something. So
Maybe
this
they
has been
expect
so profound. Sorry.
they expect to talk to other dogs to our channels. Maybe there are other dogs around the world and they try also to spread their message online. Who knows?
They want to be heard. They're saying, "We're here. Do you see me? Do you hear me?" Wow. So if we could, Ola, this has been so insightful. Oli, Dr. Gladys, Margaret, we appreciate you so much, and thanks for your patience, Selassie, and everybody else who came on stage. Big shout out. I've actually seen, I think it's the first time I've seen someone from Netherlands besides our Oli. How nice. Our listeners on all our social media platforms, thank you for joining us. And this house, Oli, you taught me something today that I grew up with my mom saying, because I've always had itchy feet. Since you love to travel, dear child, wherever you go, always make sure you have a policeman as a friend, you have a doctor, you have a priest. Who was the other fourth one? So I think now you're adding the fourth one to be a cybersecurity expert. So Ola, like it or not, you have to become my friend. So this is something that we need, and I think we need to have more of these conversations. My humble appeal, let's warn each other. Like Ola says, when you get those alerts, get people to know. Create that awareness. I think we're all content creators, if not influencers in our own little ways. And calling them out, especially where the platforms that we love, like LinkedIn, which I feel this is my safe space. I love being on this platform. It's not just for the income it generates for me, but I meet my peers. I meet my tribe. I have made awesome friends, lifetime friends. I learn a lot. I exchange, I share. So I would hate to imagine, because if these people are here, then we're not safe. So we have to come up with mechanisms where even as we alert even LinkedIn, it's a business, they'll also be more vigilant and make sure they come up with ways of weeding the scammers that could be amongst us. Let's do
Yeah.
our closing remarks.
Pardon my interruption, Miss Kim. I'm sorry about
Yes.
that. Can I
No,
go
it's
ahead?
okay. Yes,
Okay.
please.
To corroborate what you were talking about, calling these people out. You see, personally, for me, I don't like people coming online to fight. I don't fight people. I can accommodate anybody, but I don't accommodate cyber criminals. And that is what make our society more sane. You know, when others are aware. Look at what happened in this case I was talking about. There was a lady that reached out to me. That should be like 3 weeks ago now. And she was checking with me that somebody called her attention to my post about that guy, that she never knew such a thing happened. So, and I'm like, oh yeah, we are handling it, okay? And she was like, well, the person that called her attention was actually seeking refuge with her. And I'm like, how do you mean? It happened that this guy will go behind and bully some young girls on LinkedIn. So she got bullied by him because, you know, she was interested in, he is a public speaker, and she was interested in public speaking. She reached out to him and he was like, yes, I will teach you public speaking, and you are going to do this, you are going to do that. But along the line, he started making advances to this young lady. And the lady was like, but you are married. I can't do this. I'm just 22. I'm not here for that, please. And then he started harassing this lady. Poor her, she didn't know what she would do. So she was scared. She almost left LinkedIn for him. Not until when she reached out to that lady that reached out to me. I'm talking about Dr. Amaka here. Dr. Amaka reached out to me that was what that lady said, that she saw my post about the same person earlier about cybercrime. Then we spoke. And, she told me what she was going to do about the matter. Dr. Amaka actually wrote a post warning him, but without mentioning his name, and told him if he does not stop harassing the girl, she will publicly call his name. Now, see what happened with that simple post. Another lady reached out to Dr. Amaka that she was experiencing the same thing with this. But what was the impact of her posts? With her posts now, it kept him in check. Now he knew that, see, I can't operate in this area. Whatever crime I have, whether it is training scam or molesting people with my words, this platform is not a place I can operate. And before you know it, things went down because this individual would not want to be called out. Because I don't hide my own. When it is confirmed that you've done something wrong, you've committed a cyber crime, I, Olabinpe, will call your name. I called his name. So I was dealing with my own. At the moment, he has changed his name. Because of the issue he had with me, he had to change his name on LinkedIn. So now, he will not deal with me and now deal with Amaka. So what happened? He had to drop this crime. So that is one of the effects when we call them out. It's not that we want to disgrace them. It's not that we want them out of existence. I mean, for goodness sake, it does not matter how bad they are also humans. And it is our hope that they change. But if they don't change, let them face the law. And that worked for Dr. Amaka. If Dr. Amaka had not made that post, even though he's more conscious about training scam now, he could still go ahead and be messing around with these young ladies, calling them names when they decline his malicious offer. So I just said that to corroborate what you have said about the need for calling out cyber criminals. It is perfectly all right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Oli. We are learning a lot. And I will talk nicely to the Happiness Tribe that we can actually have like every 3-4 sessions, or every session we have 5 minutes on cybersecurity. This is a concern. We need to raise a lot of awareness. We need to teach and preach from the mountaintop. Let's do our closing remarks, because we've actually gone way past our time, which is awesome. That means the conversation was quite engaging. Could we start with Celeste, who has been so quiet? What have you learned from this? What's your take? What's your advice to us?
Myself, I've been scammed before, so I'm just really quiet, Some time ago, someone from LinkedIn reached out to me that, okay, going through a whole lot of difficulty and stuff, and there's some money. It says it doesn't have food and nothing. So I sent her money, and later on, she found she was sick and gone to the hospital. They've put in drip on her. I couldn't detect it, but when I sent it to workplace, my friends were able to detect it and say, "Hey, this is scam. Look, it's not really real." So that's why I'm really quiet. Yeah, so I've been scammed before. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes us wary of being kind, because you meant to do good, but you don't know who to help. Thank you, Mr. Salasi. Dr. Gladys, do you want to go next?
Sure. First, I would like to say I agree with Ola about 0% trust. Do not trust anybody. And then with Oli said about think critically. And I think you have to put your head before your emotions. And you have to guard yourself. Because if you think you're going to feel bad, you're really going to feel bad if you get scammed. So I totally agree with what they were saying here. Thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, I think yes. It's worth waiting just because of your kindness, you compromise, then you're scammed. Feels horrible. Our dear Oli, you've been a great charm. Tell us,
Thank
leave us
you.
with some
Thank
more
you.
nuggets.
Well, I will pinpoint again the scripture of my calendar, Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. And it's about knowing thyself, know ourselves, know our darkness. I'm a human being. Nothing human is alien to me. Each of us is a human being in as the dark and the light components. It's about our choice to use it constructively or destructively. And Happiness Tribe is full of happiness, but at the same time, it's not the Care Bear world here. We are on Earth, we are not on heaven, so there are dark forces, and it's about protecting our boundaries. And by instance, I will do my best to not blame myself for the past action, not shame myself, not whip myself, but at the same time to learn from that so that I can be a better version each day, and to realize that each day is an exercise to enjoy life, and also to work on ourselves. And what might Jesus do, for instance, in these sequences, whatever it's Mother Earth, the God of your understanding, what might the greater force do in that case of situation? And for me, it's about not adding into the chaos. It's about do my part and let it to God, but not playing the God myself, not playing the savior, because there is also many things during the years and the decades and the centuries of human intelligence that we can use, or we can choose to not use, and that we will perpetuate the same struggles. About the Karpman triangle, that's one thing, for instance, to not play the savior, because as much as there is a savior or a victim or a persecutor, then we are trapped in a dynamic that it's difficult to endure. We have to be observant and to invite people, and also to behaviors, to call on their behaviors, not to call on them, using NVC, nonviolent communication. And also, I perceive that, calling on facts, not calling on, oh, you did this, you did that, you are a bad person. No, just calling on facts and on behaviors, and trying to not add to the chaos. So I bring a lot of things for disclosure, but it's like a blessing these last 2 hours, and I yield the mic. Thank you so much, Miss Kim, for organizing that, and keep shining, everyone.
Only you are so deep. I think you're supposed to be a preacher. You're coming next Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. After you, I just want to add a few this thing. With all this conversation, I am just thinking about how do we build the Happiness Tribe platform? How do we design safety into the Happiness Tribe platform? And are we going to use tech? Are we going to use policies? There's a whole lot of things going through my head right now with the Happiness Tribe. So I'm just listening very carefully, and taking notes on how we can design something that will be safe for everyone. Yeah.
I can imagine. I get you, especially as you're working on the e-commerce site, especially for that. It's very sensitive. As you work on that, Selassie is working on the launch for the Happiness Tribe website, and maybe you might need to book a session with our chief, Miss Ola, who might have some advice for you. Let's see how that
Yeah.
goes. I'm sure she has. Yeah. She
Yeah,
could
I'll
advise.
reach out. Yeah, I'll reach out to her. But
Mm.
more often, I even told her I'll reach out to her. But last year was very busy for me. Even on the 24th of December, I was very busy. Because of my work is a disaster distance, so I'm always very busy. And sometimes I don't really have holidays. Anytime they call, I have to really respond. Yeah, so I think this time around I'll reach out. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So Ola, you're gonna give us your closing
Yeah,
remarks.
it will be my pleasure to have. Yeah. Yes, like I was saying, it will be my pleasure to be of help to the Happiness Tribe. You guys are doing amazingly well, and I want you to succeed. any platform that is sensitizing people should be supported. And that is what you are doing. You know, when you hold events, public events, to let people know what is happening, you are adding to beauty, to the kindness that humans should enjoy. So well done. So whenever you want it, I will always be here. I will always be here. My parting word will be, oh, thank you very much, Holly. You're so generous with commendation. I like that. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So my parting word will be, as far as cybercrime is concerned, it is here. I will always tell people, if you say it cannot happen to you, you might be the next victim. So it's not a matter of if it would happen. It is a matter of when it will happen. And for that reason, there is need for us never to let down our guard. Is it romance scam? Is it financial scam? It does not matter what is involved. We must not let down our guard. So if it does not feel right, somebody earlier on mentioned paying attention to your gut. Sometimes it helps. That thing, that voice behind our brain will tell you, are you sure? And we tend to ignore it. When you have a doubt, please don't sweep away your doubts. Earlier, I think, oh, sorry, now I missed the name. I'm not seeing the name on my screen. Doctor said earlier that we should, I think she was trying to say we should pay attention to, we shouldn't do things with emotions. And that is what happens here. If you are going to stay cyber safe, you cannot be emotional. It's not about, I want to help. She said something, a very valid point that I love. You don't want to appear bad. You don't want to feel bad for not helping people. But you feel bad if you helped the wrong person. Because psychologically, it now affects us. When the right person comes, then you are scared. What have we achieved? So it's better to do our research. Somebody reached out to you and starts to ask for money, then there is need to weigh it. There are some money we can part with. I mean, it's small. We just feel, just tell yourself, if it's a small one, oh, whether it's lying or not, I mean, it's okay. I can make do with this. But if it gets to that amount, and it depends on individuals, it varies from individual. What you can part with might not be what I can part with. So there is no general rule for this. So if I know this will be too expensive for me, then there is need for me to sit down and carefully be sure that this thing I'm investing in is actually worth it, so that I don't get hurt, so that I can keep my sanity. Because it does not matter what we are going to do, it does not matter what we are doing, we need to be all right upstairs. Hot upstairs, it affects every other thing. So please take care of your cyber hygiene. Take care of your cyber hygiene. Don't forget zero trust. Update your devices when you should. Don't think your vendors are bothering you when they roll out those updates. Please do your patches as soon as possible, because your vendors might have noticed vulnerabilities in either the software or the hardware you are using, and they've gone ahead to do the patches. Here you are complaining about it's consuming space. They want you to stay safe. Please go ahead and protect yourself. Don't forget your multi-factor authentication. Don't click on links indiscriminately. If it is not from a known and verified source, just ignore it. If it is meant for you, it won't slide. And the more we do this, the more we sensitize others, the more you get results. Thank you very much once again for having me.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. We're learning a lot. I'm avoiding asking more questions because then the hour keeps going, and we are so gracious for all your shares. Our online listeners, thank you very much. We read your beautiful messages. Our guests, you've been super awesome. Please know we are still back on cybersecurity topic next Sunday. I'll share the specific topics we're going to address. That will be same time, same place, from 4 p.m. South African time up to, we actually do it 1 hour, 30 minutes, 5:30. So Ola, you're most welcome. We'll discuss so that everybody comes ready. Please come ready with your questions. Let's just dive deep into this matter and get to know how vigilant can we be, how can we create awareness and help other people. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Margaret, for your patience. The mic is yours. Please give us your closing remarks and please get your dancing shoes on because Margaret is going to take us to the other world as we leave the room. Thank you.
Yeah, no closing remarks. I think everybody said everything that was supposed to be said. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if you can hear this. Tell me if can you hear this music now? Oh, sorry.
No.
Can you hear that?
I heard something and it went away.
Okay. Just making sure. Here we go.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. I had to get off the MacBook and do the HP, but I got you now. Here we go. So I think my closing remarks are all in this song. It's you have to be very vigilant. Be careful who you follow. Here we go.
God knows you don't have to be like everybody. It's a broad road. Be careful who you're following. I'm so in love with what you've done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again. God knows you don't have to be like everybody. It's a broad road. Be careful who you're following. I'm so in love with what you've done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again.
You get a fine if you're not dancing. So you have dancing shoes are on, you have to dance. Selassie, Dr. Gladys, Ola, you come here dancing, you need dancing.
Driving around, looked up, saw steeple, walked inside right down to the altar, raised my hands, oh God, I need this, handed me the word, young man, you read this, what about sin, my son, I plead this, grab that mic right there, get busy, give them truth, that's all, they'll see it, back in the building, we bringing the virus, and everyday walk, we will never retire, don't have to be Sunday for you to get blessed, turn on the record, you think it's a choir, no Kanye, but I've been through the wire, we've all had a struggle, we gotta get through, you ain't gotta be like everybody, believe it and see, you just gotta be you, true, God knows you don't have to be like everybody, it's a broad road, be careful who you're following. I'm so in love with what you've done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again. God knows you don't have to be like everybody. It's a broad road, be careful who you're following. I'm so in love with what you've done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again. I know heaven and hell, and I can tell the devil be on my block. Showing me things, pulling my strings, keeping me clutching the clock. Get the path is wide, the game is whack. Evils will never return. If you lose your way, you won't pay, and the cost will always burn. Don't trip up and get flipped up. Out here playing and playing. That ain't your fam to bite your hand, putting the foot in the mouth. It's a solo show, you need to know. Life is not a race. It's a journey for us to love and trust and chase the wolves away. So come on. God knows you don't have to be like everybody. everybody. It's a broad road. Be careful who you following. I'm so in love with what you done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again. God knows you don't have to be like everybody. It's a broad road. Be careful who you following. I'm so in love with what you done in my life. There's no way I think I ever could go back again.
Woohoo!
And if you heard those words, it's talking about vigilant, who you're following, and the agenda that not everybody's good, people are evil. And I took something from everybody, from Alu, from Dr. Gladys, Ollie, everybody that spoke, Crystal, it's just, we just have to be vigilant. We have to, and then, don't be afraid to seek out for help. Hey, this person is harassing me. Hey, this person is doing this and that, yeah. So thanks. Bye. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the week. And goodbye.
Keep shining.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yes, guys. Bye, guys. Stay cyber safe, please.